I can't give you all the answers. In fact, no other YouTuber can give you all the answers. You're just going to have to learn how to learn. What's up, everybody? My name's Randy. I've been an audio engineer for 16 years. I've tried to teach a lot of people. I've learned a lot of things. And one of the things that's helped keep me in this business for so long is my ability to learn how to learn. I'd say it's one of the biggest setbacks that most artists have. Let's talk about human behavior real quick. A lot of people like to do what they like to do, and they don't like to do what they don't like to do. Now, if I just blew your mind, that's crazy. Anyways, when you become a musician, you get into it because you love making music, you have fun doing it, it hits the right reward centers of the brain, hopefully the healthy ones. You start pursuing a deeper level of connection with music. Now, what always happens is the music business. The music business loves to confuse the hell out of people. Let's just say that you're somebody who loves making music, but you want to turn this into a career at the same time. What you do is you start doing the things that you loved to do in the first place, which is make music. And then you start to pursue the music business by doing more of the things that you like doing and less of the things that you don't like doing. And I don't mean to blow your minds again, but there's way more things that you don't want to do than there are things that you do want to do. The people that are generally more successful than the people that aren't is their drive, the resilience over time. You sprinkle in a little bit of luck and you have a really solid potential business. A lot of these successful people are willing to learn any part of the process that gets in front of them. In fact, they can't not learn it. They have to be a part of it. They are obsessive about it. I'm obsessive about the things that I like. Are you? But what about you, a grown-up human, has this pile of homework in front of your face again, just like back in the school days? I don't want to do homework. Do you want to do homework? At the end of it, you don't get paid. You're used to getting paid at your job, but not at home while you're doing homework. Learning how to be a successful musician requires a lot of homework. In fact, it's worse than when you were in school because the teacher just went ahead and gave it right to you. And all you had to do was just sit there and you just received things to do and you just did the things right in front of your face. But when you get out of high school or college, you have to go find the homework. So part of your job is to research stuff that you need to research. You need to learn how to learn. For some people, it's extremely natural because they are obsessive about what they love. And no matter what's in front of them, they will try to learn it. These are the artists in my sessions that are over my shoulder while I'm engineering, trying to figure out every single last movement that I'm doing on the screen. They want to understand it. And I respect that. I try to bring them into the process so that way they can learn as much as they possibly can at the same time. Because I understand that even if they're hiring me to be an audio engineer, even if they're hiring a tour manager to manage their tour, they need to understand what these factors are doing in their business. Let's just say you're trying to fix some audio at home for some content or something like that. What about learning what export settings for photos or video, or what recording settings for video? What is a focal length? What is background blur? Okay. Anyways, a lot of these artists that are successful are really good at getting into the weeds on every single topic that they come across. They don't have to have this point of conflict to get into it. In fact, they walk right through the conflict point of being like, should I do this or should I not do this? And they're already doing it. This is something that I feel like is a fundamental problem in how people want to get successful. They don't want to step into that world. Now, I'm sure everybody that's watching this video probably thinks that there's somebody that does, but maybe you don't. Now, of course, there's a varying degree of people that are willing to step into this thing or that thing. The truth is that you'll always come across challenges and you will always have to try to push through those challenges. So if you want to be successful, one of the things that you want to do as soon as possible is learn how to learn. Now, when I say that, you're probably sitting there waiting for me to come up with 3 to 5 tips showing you what to do exactly to become better at learning. But I can't do that in a video. I could give you, I could give you 5 tips, but that's not going to help you. That might get you one tiny little bit step closer, but not enough. You are going to have to go to a leading expert to research. And as much as I love this topic, I am not an expert at education and learning. There's so many things that I know about, but I'm not an expert on. And I could sit here and come up with some ChatGPT 5 top things real quick for you and put them on there and make it disguised as something that you're going to actually learn from. But you're not. You're not going to know what anything feels like until you actually start doing those things. If you're sitting here trying to get advice on how to compress vocals and you've compressed maybe 3 vocals in your lifetime, and then you try to get advice from me, when I hear the word compression, there's about 3 million pages of experience attached to that. I could try to give you the simplest version of what compression is, but the truth is when I go to compress a vocal, I'm thinking of 1,000 things. The person that doesn't know anything about compression is having a hard time. They don't know what they're hearing. They don't know what to listen for. They haven't trained their ears to listen to it because they haven't done it enough times. I'm not saying there's not great advice online, but what I'm saying is no one video, no collection of videos is going to bring you over the finish line the way that you want. Your ability to study and research the topic better than anybody else that you know is crucial. I don't consider myself that smart, okay? In fact, I don't think I'm smart at all. But what I do have is the ability to keep on trying to learn over and over again, no matter how long that it takes. In fact, I swear it takes me more times to go over some information versus most people. But the difference is most people are not willing to do it. This is a little bit of a rant, but at the same time, this is probably one of the most important topics to talk about when you're dealing with success in the music industry or anywhere. But I'm a musician, so let's just keep it on music. The last video that I released is called Don't Release Another Song Until You Watch This. In this video, I'm talking about how to develop a content funnel or a funnel for your business to bring in fans and give them a path to go along. I have to keep those types of videos vague because every single person is different. I got a critique by somebody in the comments, which, by the way, I still respect this person for coming up and saying what they were feeling, but I want to read this out loud. This person said, "So we make content. Do we pay for ads? How do we target the ads? I appreciate this video, but a lot of what you were talking about is vague and does not give real world examples. The other problem is there are so many variables depending on the type of music you make, your age, are you an online artist, etc., etc." And I completely understand this critique. This person might be used to watching videos and tips and tricks consolidated style videos. But the things that I'm trying to talk to you guys about is much deeper than that. Not the scratch the surface kind of stuff. I'm trying to talk about your entire mentality on how you would think about something like this. And it's impossible for me to talk about that and also give you very specific real world examples of how to do that. So what do? I keep it vague on purpose. I do not want to start talking too far in a direction that you're not even going in or should go in. And one thing's for sure about the music industry that I've seen over and over again is there's no one set clear path. Every path is determined specifically by the artist. And one of the number one things that I see on that path that makes somebody's path is their willingness to learn how to do different things. And they go ahead and they just make something and it resonates with people and they have an aesthetic that resonates really easily and they get really far really easily compared to somebody else who's putting 10 times the work but not getting anywhere. For me to give any more specific advice, I would have to sit down with that person and try to figure out what all the factors are so we could start developing a plan to step forward within. Then we would have to do that plan. And only then will we know how to look backwards, reassess, reevaluate, and continue forwards with the next plan. Even big brands have focus groups. They have testing periods. They try to figure things out and move forward. They try to innovate something that hasn't been done before. They work with the new climate. Being a musician now versus 5 years from now or 10 years from now is completely different. So how you approach it is going to change. And by the time you get to your plan, new tools or new ways to promote might be out there. The best thing that you could possibly do is learn as much as you can in these processes. So that way you have a point of reference that you could build upon when things inevitably change. And if you don't have an appetite for learning or are not interested in that side of it, then it's going to be extremely hard to move forward. If you don't want to know how video works, how to edit a simple video, how to send somebody files, how to talk to an artist about how to send a feature over to you so that you could then send it to the engineer, the right files. This is your business. This is something that you are immersing your life into. And I wish I had better news for you, like it's just so easy and you just make a great song and that's all it is. Make great content and that's all it is. But it just doesn't work that way. Some people have to try harder than others. Some people are built with a silver spoon that could get them a lot further. Some people are built with making something that naturally resonates with people and it's very easy for them, and some people don't. I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments. I will happily take the critique that I need to get better at teaching. I'm trying to learn how to teach, so that's another thing that you got to learn. When I got into this, I wanted to just make music and have fun doing it, and I didn't really care about getting famous, but I wanted to make music and just earn a living off of it. I didn't know what that meant. Fast forward to now, and I've trained engineers. I never thought that I would be training engineers and learning how employees work and how to build deep long-term relationships in the music business. It seems like it's almost about everything else and not just about the music. This isn't meant to be depressing, but that last sentence sounded a little depressing. But you know what I'm talking about. Come on. I'm trying to have deeper thought conversations here, not just very simple on the surface level stuff. Okay, like, share, subscribe, bye.